Next up, again, one lonely issue of Transformers, but it was a good one. Issue 25. And from what I read, this was the last issue of this story arc that they're doing, but it was left wide open. So I was like, oh, okay. What the hell does this mean? So basically, it starts off with Megatron after the events of the last issue. Megatron going back to the Decepticon base, and he's in a foul mood. He's like, is this what we're reduced to? Groveling on the ocean floor in this old ship, infighting, whatever. He's like, we used to be mighty. So he's pissed off. He's reaming all of his guys out. And eventually he turns this speech into a way to rally them all, get them all fired up for fighting again, get their savagery back. Some of the Constructicons, some of the Combaticons, Frenzy, Rumble, or maybe just Rumble, he's reaming them all out. He's basically destroyed Starscream, but as that part of the story ends, they're all like, oh hell, Megatron, everybody's jacked, and then it focuses in on Starscream's crumpled corpse, and one of his eyes suddenly light up. So Starscream ain't dead yet. The Autobots, in the meantime, Optimus Prime is leading a recovery operation in Chicago after all the devastation, helping the humans clean up and find survivors and, get everything back to rights. Soundwave suddenly emerges from the rubble and goes after Optimus Prime. Prime beats him down. They capture him. He's like, let's go back to base and take him with us. And Wheeljack's like, what? The empty cave where our Ark used to be? Is that our base now? And it's like, yeah, well, that's it for now. So they go back to the Ark's location, and it's cool. Wheeljack goes inside, well, it's now just an empty cave, and he finds a dinosaur skeleton. I think it's a T-Rex. And he's like, fascinating. So I wonder if the Dinobots might be coming along, right? Because that's how they originally found them. They found skeletons in the cave the Ark was in, right, in the original cartoon. So, and then all of a sudden, while Wheeljack is looking at this skeleton, suddenly something happens and, oh, the Ark is back. I'm inside the Ark. So then we see eventually Skywarp and teleports the Ark back, because that's his one of his powers is teleportation, with Thundercracker, who had come to rescue him. And Thundercracker's freaking out like, where did we go? Ah! And so when they teleported away, they went somewhere they didn't plan on going, and it was to it showed all the like the G.I. Joe villains that like Globulus and Pythona, all those guys like from Cobra Law, right? So they obviously went to Cobra Law and got more than they bargained for, right? So now they're back, but now Thundercracker's freaking out and whatever. And then the other thing that happens is, well, before they go back to base, Optimus Prime is approached by a military-looking man. I think it might be General Flag from the G.I. Joe storyline. And he says, Optimus Prime, I'm going to give you something. Come with me. So we have something you might be interested in. So Prime goes with him and to this facility, goes underground. And the guy's like, Prime, welcome to Shadow Watch. So he shows Optimus Prime into this facility, and lying there is the body of Bulkhead and Mirage. So the guy's like, yep, we found this guy here, Bulkhead, and the green guy in 1906 under a pyramid in Egypt or something like that. And then this guy, Mirage, we found in 1936 on the ocean floor, didn't have the capacity to bring him up until 1984. So Prime's like, oh my God, he's so excited that he's got two of his guys back. And then, but he's like, oh, we don't have anything to revive these guys because we just don't have Energon. We don't have the energy. And then that guy's like, oh, I think we can help you with that. He leads him over to this other area. It's Energon everywhere. So Prime's like, by the Matrix, right? Yeah, and then so I think that's basically, oh no, yeah, I knew there was something else. So all that stuff happens. And as the issue closes, the last thing we see is back on Cybertron, Elita 1 giving Cliffjumper shit for sending Metalhead through the portal to help Prime and those guys. And Bluestreak and those guys are listening to Elita 1 talk, and they're all like kind of disappointed in her because she's being real negative about the whole thing. And they're like, but we sent him back to help Optimus Prime. And it's like, Optimus Prime is dead to us now. He's no longer our ally. he's our enemy. So Alita 1 is batshit crazy at this point. I understand she's been fighting a war on Cybertron, but Prime's on Earth. Like, deal with it, right? But she has gone full dark side mode at this point. So I'll be curious to see how that story eventually resolves itself. Hopefully Prime beats some sense into her, but we'll see. Eventually. Maybe? Unless this was the last issue? I don't know. Last up, issue 12 of the G.I. Joe subseries that's more of like an Origins kind of series. So in this one, it opens with Duke coming into Colonel Hawk's office and saying, I can't go on the next mission. Like, Cobra has taken up so much of our focus, but these robots need to be explored. And Hawk is like, Duke, don't worry about it. There's nothing going on with G.I. Joe that you don't know about. Everything will be fine. Everything in its due time, whatever. But in the meantime, something is going on with G.I. Joe that Duke doesn't know about. So at the end of the last issue, remember the last little panel, it was like Hawk got a call from Flint and Beachhead and Lady J. Not Shadow. I forget the name of that. Never mind. That little side thing they do where they're kind of covert ops. He had a mission for them at the end of the last issue. We just don't know what it was. It was extracting some girl. We just don't know the details. So that's where this issue went at the start. So in Darklonia at a Grenadier labor camp, the three of them are outside in the snow being like, okay, we got to find a way to get in here and get our girl out. So her name's Jodie Craig. Nickname is Shooter. She is a sniper, and she is the best, and so good that all of her kills are classified. She makes impossible shots all the time. So Darklon takes her from her cell and is like, you will kill for me now? And she's like, never. And he's like, okay, maybe another day. So and they torture her and they beat her and whatever. And then one of the girls, Ivana, that's in the labor camp, is pissed off at this girl because she wants to do the glory for Darklon and make his kills for him. So she's like, if I kill you, he'll come to me. So she's always kind of beating on her and stuff, and she's like, tonight you're getting it, sort of thing, right? So Shooter is like, well, maybe I'll just escape, right? So she stages an escape attempt that night while the three Joes are breaking in to get her out. So they run into each other, and then they're like, okay, let's get the fuck out of here, right? But of course they get noticed, so a big chase takes place in the snow, and while they're extracting in their Jeep, Shooter takes Lady J's rifle and is like, I'm gonna deal with that bitch now. So, and Lady J's like, that's an impossible shot. So she's shooting from the back of a moving Jeep way up to this labor camp castle they were in, through a window to Ivana, who's staring out at what's going on, right? And of course she makes the shot and everybody's like, whoa, right? And then eventually they escape. And then the second part of the issue goes to, I can't remember what facility they're in, but Cobra and Destro have been having run-ins, right? Their partnership is a little rocky, a little shaky. But they are working together, and Major Blood, who has his other eye taken out by Baroness, remember when her and CoverGirl had to work together to escape from Major Blood's little scheme there? Cobra Commander gives Major Blood these kind of goggle things that give him his sight back or whatever. So, and it's like, yeah, for your sight, you're going to work for us. No questions asked. And Major Blood's like, yeah, no problem, mate. In the meantime, Mercer, Destro's one of his guys, I think it was Mercer, comes up to him and says, we got a problem, boss. The Joes now have one of the robots working for them. And he's like, oh, interesting. And that's a new development. And then Mercer's like, yeah. And he's like, are you and Cobra Commander chummy now? And he's like, Destro's like, hardly. And he's like, well, how are we going to take him out? And he's like, there's a lot of people loyal to him if we try to go after him. And he's like, take that Ripper guy over there, for example. Cobra Commander killed most of his crew, but the guy sticks around because he's so afraid of him. And then Destro's like, maybe we just make sure Cobra Commander's other enemies find him first. And then the last panel focuses in on the Dreadnoks in their swamp somewhere, working on the Thunder Machine and doing other stuff. And on the wall is a poster of Cobra Commander, and there's all these knives that have been thrown into him, right? So Destro's going to entice the Dreadnoks into doing his dirty work for him. And I can't wait, because if y'all haven't figured out by now, by some of the classified figures I've bought and been most excited about, I love the Dreadnoks. Who doesn't?
Meow.